Right, so welcome back to Communication Skills course. Today we are going to discuss about the contemporary model of communication. So today we are going to learn the process in detail, as well as we are going to identify the main components or the basic elements of communication process. For that, we will use contemporary model of communication, which is screen right now. And in this screen, you may see it a very complex one, but don't worry, we are going to understand in a very simple manner. Why we are using contemporary model of communication is it is a kind of latest model of communication rather than discussing about the evolution of communication models and all and theories. So we will directly discuss about the what is available right now. And also what is important is this model we can easily apply into our day-to-day encounters. As I said earlier, communication settings, different settings, then we can understand how communication process take place. Then our aim is to how we can apply and how we can practice communication in effective manner. So the target is effective communication. Our target is to improve your communication skills in university as well as in the future industry you are going to join. Unfortunately, we have to do it now online, so it is really challenging. Anyhow, it's like teaching swimming via Zoom, and it's really challenging then. But then you have the big portion or the responsibility lies in you. You have to learn this via online, and but at the end of the day, you have to practice it. Otherwise, we cannot improve communication. What we really recommend is practice, practice, and practice. Right? Anyhow, the theoretical part we will cover like this. Then we'll stay hopeful whether we can take you back into the university. Then we can have physical lectures again. Right. So contemporary model of communication, it has different components here. You can see them in different colors here. So what we are going to do is to identify them one by one, and we are going to discuss about them one by one, right? So initially we have in communication process we need to have communicators, right? Communication is a process take place between communicators always. So in simple terms, what is communication is it's a shared experience between communicators. Here we discuss or we focus only about human beings. For example, now since you are from applied science faculty, there may be students who study computer science. Then when you engage in computer mediated communication, that means you are using a device. And maybe when it comes to advanced techniques or the technology like AI, artificial intelligence, then or else augmented reality, then maybe these devices have the technology to communicate, initiate the communicate by themselves. For example, now your smart device you are having, the smart device can talk to you very easily. For example, you can talk to you may have practicing it already, like you can talk to Google, right? So Google listen to you, and also the Google have the facility to talk to you, right? Even in iMac or the Apple setups, they have this facility, right? So this we call it in technical terms we call it voice commanding, right? So here we are only talking about human to human communication, not human to computer or human to a particular technology. So when it comes to human communication, it always a shared experience, a shared experience. So communication is a shared experience between humans, right? එතකොට සංවේදනය කියන්නේ මානවීන් දෙදෙනෙක් අතර මිනිසුන් දෙදෙනෙක් අතර සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ අත්දැකීම් බෙදා හදා ගැනීමක්, shared experience, බෙදා හදාගත් අත්දැකීමක්, right? And what is really important is who simultaneously initiate and interpret messages. That is very important. In general communication, we say, let's say you engage in a chat room, or else you send an email. Then in an email, when you send a draft email, you become the sender of the email. Then you have a receiver also, the target or the person who you are intended to send the message, send and receive. But in modern communication, or in the contemporary model of communication, we name these people as communicators, not as senders or the receivers. Reason is, in communication process, we simultaneously initiate and interpret messages, right? That means at the same time we send and receive messages. How it happens? Now, if we think about this Zoom today's lecture, who started communication today? Who is the sender or receiver? Or are we sharing the messages simultaneously or at the same time? I'll try to explain then. Okay, good. I'm getting a message. Lecturer is the sender, student is the receiver. So is sender and we are receivers. Okay. So do you have antennas then? Oh, why? Yes. You have, how it happens now. Here I'm in university and I'm talking to a device here, laptop. I can't see anyone. I don't know whether you have, I can only see in this Zoom platform, there are 187 participants, and it shows me there are different number plates like IIT, MD, MSD, Mendes, right? Then I don't know whether you are really alive, or I can't hear from anyone. Also, I can't see you, but in my mind, I believe that you are listening to me, connecting to this same Zoom lecture, but also connecting from different parts of the country. So only my mind says you are listening, right? So from here, I'm talking to this device. I am willing to talk to this device for almost 1 hour. And from your side, I think you already had the in your mind, you already had this 3 lecture එකක් තියෙනවා, 3 to 4 lecture එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඇති, right? Also you have got a message via WhatsApp, a Zoom link, then you get ready for the lecture. So now you are sitting somewhere in your house, or maybe where you have signal. Then you are looking at a device, or else you are listening to a device right now. Am I correct? Is it clear what we are doing right now?
Yes, sir.
Right. So in communication process, it's not mere, I just communication process is not starting when I say good afternoon to you, and when you are one of your appointed student to say yes always, he says yes, good afternoon, we can hear you. That is not the start and end of the start of the communication. Even before the lecture, you have start communicating. Can you understand? Even before we start the this lecture, you have started communication. මේ lecture එක පටන් ගන්න කලින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ සංනිවේදනයට සම්බන්ධයි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතමින් ඉන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ කතා බහ කරමින් ඉන්නවා. මනසින් ඒ ගැන අවධානය යොමු කරමින් ඉන්නවා. You concentrate, and intrapersonally you are talking to yourself. අපෝ දැන් lecture එකක් තියෙනවා, මොකද කරන්නේ? Like that. Then what we do simultaneously, simultaneously means at the same time we are doing something. I am saying something and you are not saying anything. Most of you, only 3, 4 students saying yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, right? But what about others? They also listen. Maybe most of them. Some are not. Some are make a switch on karla gohe hari gihilla ted. Right? So what happens is I start talking here and you start listening there. So it happens at the same time. I start talking here and you start listening here. So at the same time, I send a message and also you are non-verbally doing a lot of stuff. Non-verbally, even though without saying a single word, but you react to this communication. Make ahanawa එහෙම නැත්නම් පාවෙලා ඉන්නවා එක්ක නිදාගන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. So all this stuff connected with this communication process. So in communication, we are not now saying one is sender and one is receiver. All engage in communication and we share experience. And today's experience is the lecture. මම මෙතන ඉඳන් කියවන ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒ වෙලාවෙම අහුම්කම් දෙනවා මේකට react කරනවා. Maybe you all now log into your WhatsApp group, you are sharing a lot of stuff. මේ මොනවද කියන්නේ? Anything like that. So we all in same communication process. At the same time, we send messages here and there. I am the only one talking here right now, but still you react in non-verbal way. වචනෙන් කිව්වේ නැති වුණාට ඔයගොල්ලෝ හැම දෙනාම මේ 193 දෙනාම මේකට react කරනවා. Can you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. So in communication, now what we accept is we all are communicators and we all are initiators and interpreters. Let's try to understand how we become initiators and interpreters. In this model, it says in blue color, I hope you can see it. In blue color, you can see there are 2 people engaged in this communication. So simply this is interpersonal communication model, but it can apply to everyone, everything. I mean, every setup, like even to mass media, group communication, to this lecture. I am the lecturer here and this is other one is all students, right? So I am an initiator as well as an interpreter. මම හැමතිස්සෙම සංනිවේදකයෙක් විදිහට as a communicator I initiate message and I interpret. What you do is always you initiate message and you interpret. How it happens. Now here I am talking about communication skills here, or the communication model today. So what I do is I initiate something. මම කතා කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. I initiate talking. And how I do it is I interpret something. මම මොකක් හරි දෙයක් අර්ථ නිරූපණය කරනවා. For example, in my mind, I think I should tell my students in this way. මම මෙන්න මේ විදිහට කිව්වොත් ළමයින්ට තේරෙයි කියලා හිතාගෙන මම කියනවා. I interpret something. මගේ ඔළුවේ තියෙන in my mind there is knowledge, right? ඔළුවේ තියෙන දෙයක් අපි කියනවා ඒක දැනුම කියලා. So I convert my knowledge into words. And words means I have selected in mode of English, then I should convert my knowledge into English words. Right? So I initiate something, I interpret. And what you do is you initiate listening and you try to interpret what you are hearing. ඔබ අහුම්කම් දෙන එක ආරම්භ කරනවා ඒ වගේම ඔයාට මේ ඇහෙන දේ තමන්ට තේරෙන විදිහට අවබෝධ කරගන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා. In that sense, we all are initiators and interpreters. Right? Can you understand? තේරුණාද මම කියන්නේ? Hello? Can you understand or do you need more clarification? Even the yes sir people have gone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, okay, now you are sending me message. That's easy for you, right? Okay. Then we all are, now as communicators, we all are initiators and interpreters. So what we do in communication, we at the same time, we initiate and we interpret messages. So what we share is always messages. The words we are sharing, non-verbal reaction, everything, words, sounds you are hearing. මේ මැද්දෙන් පොඩි noise එකකුත් ඇහුණා නේ ළමෙක්ගේ. A kind of noise disturbance. That also message, right? So if you're sharing emojis right now via WhatsApp, everything, whatever, those are messages. අපි හැමතිස්සෙම මේ පණිවිඩ තමයි හුමාරු කරන්නේ. It's all about sharing messages. Message can be a word, message can be letters, message can be a sign, symbol, whatever it is, sound. Those are messages. And only thing is, what is important is we need to share meaningful messages. අපිට තේරෙන messages තමයි අපි හුමාරු කරගන්නේ. Then ඊට පස්සේ අපි after that we are going to understand process of encoding and decoding. How we can share meaningful messages. Now these initiators always they have to send a message via a channel, right? They have to send a message via a channel. Here you can see the channel. අපි හැමතිස්සෙම මොකක් හරි මාධ්‍යයක් කරා තමයි පණිවිඩය යවන්නේ, right? So to send a message via a channel, you have to encode that message. What is encoding there? Now I'll ask you a question. Now when you engage in most of the time you may engage in social networking sites, right? Maybe messenger group, WhatsApp group, Telegram, Twitter, whatever. How do you commonly use, what is the common platform you are using to communicate to each other? WhatsApp or Messenger, Twitter or Telegram, what is it? Facebook group, what is it? WhatsApp, right? You all have degree program. Why is WhatsApp group? Is that anyhow? Now let's say it's WhatsApp. Okay, before we move into the common WhatsApp groups, let's say you are sending a message to a well-known one of your batchmate, I mean colleague in your degree program. They maybe your partner, I don't know whether you have partnerships right now, but let's say you drop a message early in the morning. What is your starting message? They පාන්දරම batch එක degree program එකේම ඉන්න batch එක්ට message එකක් දානවනේ මොනවා කියලාද දාන්නේ? How you initiate that one? නිකම්ම messenger වල හරි WhatsApp වල message එකක් දානවනම් කතා කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවනම් මුලින්ම දාන්නේ මොකක්ද? Good morning, right? Right. One says good morning. Are you going to type everything like good morning? GD morning කියනවා. Very good, right? එතකොට ඔයාලා කීයටවත් ලියන්නේ නැහනේ මෙතන දැන් ඉන්න නම් බැලුවොත් IIT භාග්‍ය ඉන්නවා. Hi there, I am Bhagya from IIT. I am one of you. මම ඔයාගෙන් පන්ති යාළුවෙක් මතකද එහෙම ලියන්නේ. You just say hi or GM, right? You put GM and the reply comes as එතකොට reply එක මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ? You put GM. Oh, this is good. Good morning. GUMMORNING. That's good. Good. Really creative. Good morning. How the reply comes normally? පිළිතුර එන්නේ කොහොමද? The response, or we called it feedback in communication. You are not getting any reply when you good morning, how are you doing? I don't think so. Let's say other person also put G. Next question. Emojis. Okay, okay. Most of the right. Any other letters you are going to use? Abbreviation. MK. Good. MK. MKN question. What's up? Okay. So the reply should be MKTNA. Magutne. Something like that, right? So what do you do? How you do this one? Right? You have something in your mind. This is now we are going to understand encoding and decoding. You have something in your mind and you need to initiate something. Let's say communication, conversation between two people. Then you know a particular way to start it, saying GM, good morning. Then your idea you need to convert into letters. දැන් මේ ඔළුවේ තියෙන මේ සුබෝදෑසනක් එහෙම නැත්නම් good morning කියන wish එක ඔයා හරවන්න ඕනේ message එකක් විදිහට. So you simply convert into two letters, GM, which is abbreviation for good morning in online language. GM, you just simply put GM. The way you do it is called as encoding. ඔයාගේ ඔළුවේ තියෙන අදහස මේ message එකක් විදිහට හරවපු process එකට කියන්නේ encoding. එහෙම නැත්නම් ආකේතන. Can you understand that? තේරුණාද මම කියන්නේ? Always you have to convert it to a message. At the same time, when the other communicator sees that one, ඒක දැක්කම සමහරට මහා දවල් වෙලා තමයි මේක දකින්නේ. එතකොට ආයි GM කියලා දාලා වැඩක් නැහැ. Right? Anyhow, you put an emoji back or something. Man then negate bang, whatever you, in a way you reply to that one. Right? For the reply also, you have to do the same. But before that, when the other communicator see that two letters GM, that communicator knows that you have wished already, saying good morning, and that person knows the meaning of letter GM, and also the second word MK, මොකද කරන්නේ, with the question mark, and that person also knows that one, GM MK. Other person can read it, right? අපි හිතමු දැන් භාග්‍ය මැසේජ් එක ඇරියා කියලා IIT එකේ ඉඳන් MRT Chiran ලක්ෂිතට GMMK. Then Chiran knows that one. Chiranට තේරෙනවා හරි මේ භාග්‍ය අහලා තියෙන්නේ good morning කියලා තියෙනවා, මොකද කරන්නේ කියලා අහලා තියෙනවා. So it sounds something, right? It's meaningful for Chiran. So that process, when the Chiran sees GM, letter GM and MK in let's say WhatsApp, when Chiran knows it, we called it Chiran interpreting that one. That's mean Chiran decoding it. අර යපු message එක in a particular way. භාග්‍ය encode කරලා ඉවලා තියෙන අකුරු හතරකට. Chiran decode it. Decoding means encrypting, decrypting again, different. So that is process of decoding. So always what we do in communication is encoding and decoding messages. Okay, encoding means it occurs the initiation and creation of a message. හැමතිස්සෙම පණිවිඩයක් හදන්න ඕනේ. You need to initiate something and you need to create a message. As communicators, right? You have to translate all your ideas, thoughts, feeling into symbols. We all have everything in our mind. It can be idea, it can be a thought, it can be feeling, it can be your belief, it can be your faith, it can be way you perceive the world, it can be anything. Anything comes to your mind. Anyhow, to communicate it, you have to convert it into symbols. Now, commonly we are using language to communicate. In all the languages, we have symbols. හැම භාෂාවකම තියෙන මේ symbols තමයි. For example, here now here the letter E, your teachers, your parents have taught you from your birth, from the beginning of when you start language learning or language we called it adaptation. they have told you to call this letter E. මෙන්න මේ සංකේතයට E කියන්න කියලා පුංචි කාලේ ඉඳන් උගන්වලා තියෙන ඉඳන් you called it E. It's a symbol. And this one, the other one is D. D for dog, E for elephant. Right? So those are symbols. And we put these letters together, which all these letters has a unique sound. And we put these letters together and say encoding and decoding. Right? Though all these are symbols. May have a sankete. So language is a construct of symbols. So these are symbols. So we use symbols to communicate. And when you violate these, then the problem comes, right? For example, then api kaputo godak dekkama ekata kaputas kiyapu gaman awul yanne. Why this problem of kaputas? Kaputas kiyapu gaman your general agreement violates. Apita punchi kale indhan kiyala tibbe crow and cross. It violates. That's against your way of transferring messages. Eka api experience karapu communication neke di veradi. That's why it's become a joke or meme or whatever thing. Then therna dikene. So we should share meaningful messages. Abai kaputas kiwahama tapita therena. But it against our standard norm of communication. Because if you're using English, then you have to name it as cross. Right? There was now, if you remember, if you watch cricket, there was a famous player called Martin Crowe and Jeff Crowe. And they bat together in the same field. Two crows play cricket. That's not kaputas thing, right? So what happened always in communication is we translate our ideas into symbols, and that symbol again should be meaningful one. Then mama metani dan mama kiwuwot, right? I'll show you. I'll show you how to design a symbol. Mama metani dan kiwuwot thema mama kiyana symbol ekak design karna basics man දැන් ඇඳලා පෙන්නනවා මේ මගේ මෙතන තියෙන white board එකේ. Is it meaningful? මං ගාව තියෙන කොලයක හරි මං අඳිනවා. Right. Now in my background. So those are symbols again. Even these photographs is a symbol. Not only letters we are talking, not only sounds you are hearing, anything can be a symbol. And also you will find sometimes it's difficult to explain the feeling into words. වචනෙන් ඒවා විස්තර කරන්න සමහරලාට අමාරුයි. දැන් වෙලාවකට කියන්නේ I don't have enough words to express my love. මගේ හිතේ තියෙන ආදරේ කියාගන්න මට වචන නැහැ කියලා. එහෙම වෙන වෙලාවල් නැද්ද? සමහර කෑම වල රහක් කියන්න තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අමුතු රහක් තියෙන කියලා. අමුතුයි කියලා කියනවා, but you don't have enough words to say that. You don't have sometimes enough words to express a feeling like love. Reason is we don't have that vocabulary or the experienced people, right? For example, last class also I asked, we are normally using marker pens to write in whiteboards. මේකට කියන සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද marker pen එකට? සිංහල. This is a text, but the longer one we are normally using. marker එකට සිංහලෙන් මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? The marker is whiteboard marker, right? We don't have words, right? So every time to encode and to decode, we should have symbols. That's the basis of communication. Those are the basics of communication, right? So in communication, what we do is we initiate, we interpret, and we send messages. To send a message, we encode it, and the other person or the other party needs to decode it. That's the way we engage in communication. And also, to this process, the self part of any person, the person's self identity or the personality matters a lot. මේ හැම දෙයකටම බලපාන තවත් තීමාත්මක සාධකයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ තමයි ඒ සංවේදකයාගේ ස්වීයත්වය. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔහු සතු පුද්ගල අනන්‍යතාවය, identity. Right? This is not the identity card you have or the index number you have. Everyone have your own. We called it yourself. Self, the self. Self means the total composite of person's personality, experience, and identity. පුද්ගලයාගේ ස්වීයත්වය කියලා අපි හඳුනන්නේ යාගේ තියෙන පෞරුෂත්වය සහ අත්දැකීම් සහ අනන්‍යතාවය කියන සමස්තය එකතුව. Collection of personality, experience plus identity. Everyone have this one, and everyone have unique identity. Even though you are a homogeneous group, එක සමජාතීය කණ්ඩායමක් වුණාට from one to one there are huge differences. That's why in human civilization there are no two cells who are identically equal. For example, you may have better understanding than me. We cannot find our own copy. We call it clone, right? We cannot our same copy anywhere in this world. අපේ සමාන කෙනෙක් ලෝකෙ හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. Only thing I think you have to do you have to clone it to have the same DNA pattern and everything, even the outer appearance. Even twins are not identical, and even they are maybe there are a lot of similarities in outer appearance, but they are not similar in the nature. When it comes to ideas, attitudes, reactions, way they talk, there are huge differences. Can you understand? තේරෙනවනේ? එකිනෙකාට හැමෝම වෙනස්. එතකොට මේ එකිනෙකා අනුව තමයි සංවේදනය කරන විදිහත්. There are from one to one there are huge voice differences. That's why now we have vocal recognition to find a person, even to recognize a person. හැම කෙනාගෙන් කෙනාටම එයා කතා කරන විදිහ වෙනස්. And starting from that, all the other things, where they react to a situation, where they read something, where they look at something, where they think about something, where they think about the same thing. එකම දෙයක් ගැන විවිධයි දරන අදහස් වෙනස්. So for the communication, this identity or the self matters a lot. එතකොට පුද්ගල සංනිවේදනයේදී එයාගේ තියෙන මේ self කියන part එක අති විශාල බලපෑමක් කරනවා. Right? We cannot change it simply. For example, now why disease matters? I make අපිට ඕන මෙන්න කියන එක හිතුවොත්, let's say same customer goes to different outlets. Let's say it's Kiehl's. අපි හිතමු එකම පාරිභෝගිකය යනවා Kiehl's වල counters දෙක තුනකට. මේ දවස්වල සබන් ගන්න යන්නේ වගේ. එතකොට අපි ගිහිල්ලා අහනවා සබන් නැද්ද මහත්තයා කියලා අහනවා. Right? අපි ගිහිල්ලා Kiehl's එකට ගිහිල්ලා අපි හිතමු ගමේ කඩේට කියලා. Kiehl's එකෙන් ගිහිල්ලා අහන්නේ නැහැ සබන් නැද්ද මහත්තයා කියලා. අපි ගමේ කඩේට ගිහිල්ලා අහනවා මුදලාල්ලාගේ සබන් නැද්ද මහත්තයා. ඒ කඩේ මුදලාල්ලා නෑ සබන් ඉවරයි. ඊළඟ කඩේ මුදලාල්ට ගිහිල්ලා අහනවා සබන් නැද්ද මහත්තයා. එයාගේ රියැක්ෂන් එක මේ එකිනෙකා දෙන එකම ප්‍රශ්නෙට දෙන රියැක්ෂන් කොහොමද වෙනස්. So that's why we need to learn and develop them in customer communication. When it comes to industry matters, really, interpersonal communication plays a vital role in customer communication. That's why we cannot train one single person into such a standard level. Only McDonaldization, we say, if you have experience visiting McDonald's outlets, when you visit them, they have trained in such a way to treat the customer. For example, they have set of words. අවුරුදු කාලට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කාගිල්ස් එකට ගියාම ඒගොල්ලෝ හැම කෙනාටම එක විදිහටම ආචාර කරනවා ආයිබෝවන් කියලා. In the same way, McDonald's staff have trained in the similar way to treat customers. They have different mechanism. Anyhow, the way they react. But if you think about from the customer's point of view, way people react to the that salesperson is different, right? So we don't have a universal model in communication. This is the way you need to engage in communication. එතකොට අපිට sannivedanaye විශ්ව සාධාරණ මොඩලයක් නැහැ. ඔබ මේ විදිහටයි sannivedanaya කරන්නේ. And here in this contemporary model, you can see very clearly it depends on the context. It depends on the context, right? So according to different situation, people react, the way they engage in communication is different. Right. So what we are doing right now is we are trying to understand and we are trying to learn how communication process works using contemporary model of communication. Right. So we discuss about communicators as initiators and interpreters, as well as the process of encoding and decoding. And next we discuss about the influence of the self into this communication process. And the next one is always we have to send the message, and it is a key component of communication process. And now you know, and you may have a general understanding, messages are symbolic expressions of ideas, thoughts, as well as feelings. So messages can be either verbal or non-verbal or the combination of both. අපිට මේ පණිවිඩ වචනෙන් කියන්නත් පුළුවන්, අවාචිකව කියන්නත් පුළුවන්. For example, now we are using emoticons, and before that, before your generation, you adults, the way they say bye to people, right? And this is universal language there. අපි කෙනෙක්ට මේ ටටා එහෙම නැත්නම් bye කියන එක, even those so-called Sinhalese Buddhist people can even understand that, right? Right? It's a universal symbol there. And even if you, when you welcome foreigner in our country saying Aibowan, even though the foreigner cannot understand what Aibowan means, but he knows that you are welcoming that particular guest, because non-verbally he knows it. And also smile. Let's say අපි හිතමු දැන් අපි ඩබල් සතිය ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එන්න කියනවා හදිස්සිය. හරි ෆස්ට් ඉයර්ස් ලටත් යුනිවර්සිටි පටන් ගත්තා. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ටක් ගාලා ගිහිල්ලා ඉරිදා බස් එකකට නැගිනවා කොළඹින් බදුල්ල බස් එකකට නැගලා ඉඳගත්තු ගාම one stranger comes to your next seat and take the seat. ළඟින් දන්නේ නැති අමුත්තෙක් වාඩි වෙනවා and he smiles at you. Let's say you are a girl. Then what is your reaction? ඔබ ගැහැණු ළමෙන් නම් ඔබ ළඟින් බස් එකේ වාඩි වුණොත් අමුත්තෙක් එයාට hina වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? What is your reaction? Are you going to smile back? Are you going to make us welcoming smile? Are you going to start conversation with that person? Okay, here comes the message. No. Why? Why you say no? Any reason for that one? Mom's advice on don't speak to strangers unnecessarily. Okay, that's great. Your mom's advice. Stranger means danger. Kaumadi says stranger is danger. Okay. And Sanjana's mother says don't speak to strangers unnecessarily. Okay. But okay. So this is the general agreement, as I said, the example like Kaputas. Now, even though people give you a welcoming smile and okay, nice answer comes, smile back and look away to keep the limits. What is that limitation? Smile back and look away to keep the limits. And what is that limit? the limit? What is the limit? Or is it really no limit? Avoiding him become more closer. Okay, right. So that is one part of nonverbal communication. Quickly, I will tell you. Physically, we maintain a radius, especially girls, I think. We called it radius. You science guys, you know it better. ඔබ අවට අපි හිතමු ඒක යම්කිසි තරම් යම්කිසි පරාසයක් ඔබේ ශරීරයේ ඉඳන් I don't know the real radius, the millimeters or the centimeters you maintain, but every time you need to maintain it, right? We call it in communication, strangers cannot jump into your zone without a welcome. එතකොට අර අමුත්තට බෑ ඔබ ඔබ දක්වන ලිමිට් එක එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ පරාසය පයින්ද ඔබේ වෙල්කම් එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔබේ ආරාධනයක් right. You cannot simply jump into others zone. It can be the comfort zone for anyone, but in cultures like Brazil, in Latin America, they bump into each other even in private in public transportation, and they don't have any problem. And they welcome people, and where they touch people even belongs to different culture, but it's strange for us. But from one culture to another culture also there are huge differences. So I'm trying hard here to tell you how we non-verbally express thoughts, ideas and feelings. I think you remember even for a welcome smile, you can non-verbally give different feedbacks or the responses, right?